Hello and welcome back to another casted game on the Age of Bison YouTube channel. My name is Sir Shark Dad. I'm joined here by McCleaves. How's it going, McCleaves?
I am fine. Thank you for casting this game. I'm very excited to see what these players have to offer us.
Awesome. So we have Aztecs starting in the north with Dunamai playing Aztecs, and then we have ApoTato, the second game in the series. He's playing France. So as far as I know, I believe ApoTato, he's a France main, and Dunamai has quite a bit of skill with the Aztecs. And what map is this again, McCleaves? It's in one of the newer ones?
So we are exactly. We are playing on Pyrenees here. It's a new map. It's one of the more standard European maps. There is very strong natives. I can spawn Bourbon and Habsburg out of the top of my head, and then otherwise than that, it's a very standard-ish map. So very reminiscent of Himalayas.
Yeah, I can see that. We currently have, what is that, 4 House of Bourbon royal houses on the map. Quite a few capturable sheep. Starting hunts look pretty good for the Aztec side as well as the French side. Some pretty easy hunts to grab here on the corners of the map to herd in. And we got...
I would like to point out that the coin situation is not huge. You have a coin mine that is behind the base, but it's pretty far.
Mm-hmm. Got 2, and another 2 that can be contested here in the middle of the map, whereas another 2 once again on the French side and another one on the side. Yep. So we have France starting off with a trade post start. So typically when I play France, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but typically I start with a market and a house for hunting dogs upgrade as soon as I can. Well, do you typically see trade post start with France in this meta, or?
Yes. I think I don't know how it is when you play against Aztecs specifically, but taking a trade plus is very standard for France.
Let's go ahead and get the Fog of War back on, just now that we discussed the map in its entirety. We have Native Scout coming in. Let's take a look at the decks here. Aztec side, Kamakak, so that will give you a pretty quick age up if he sends it in early, depending on which age up he wants, and also a Warrior Priest. Pretty standard, though, age 2 stuff with some economic upgrades coming in. And as well as a ton of upgrades in age 3.
It's a lot of mill cards. I'm very surprised about those mill cards in a 1v1. You might say that he expects the game to go late, which is interesting. For an
it's kind of, it could be difficult to topple over the French, but let's take a look at the French deck here. Okay, much more interesting here. So definitely we got the Team French Auxiliaries combat card, so that's for the Native Warriors, and as well as another Native Warrior combat card in H2. So we definitely can expect, absolutely.
There's 2 in H2. The Villager card, it also upgrades natives on the right.
Oh, the Wilderness Worker.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And the thing with this deck is that as soon as Dunamai sees it, he knows what's going on.
Exactly. It's very telegraphed. Exactly. He knows exactly what's going to happen.
The other way around, ApoTato might not have a clue of what Dunamai is going to do. So that is an advantage to the Aztec player. Although there's a lot of unit cards, of course, but
picking up a really big treasure here, 75 food, that's definitely going to help with the quick age up and give him the XP. It's always nice when he's obviously microing really well to get the extra XP with the Eagle Scout, grabbing the kill on the Treasure Guardians there. Now he's sending in the Kamakak, getting a Warrior Priest, and he's going to get a pretty quick age up in H2, so we can expect, probably a rush out of him? And
yes, well, usually the Kamakak will be used to put some early pressure on, because you need you have a war priests that give you a lot of XP, and you need to be in the next age in time to send your 3rd shipment, which is a very, that's a very particular aspect to Aztecs, because other civs would only get their 2nd shipment once they go into H2.
So then we're getting a pretty standard 14 Vil age up on the French side, and he's probably holding on to this one card, this one shipment, excuse me. Probably going to send in that 700 wood if I was going to hazard the guess, or the 4 CDP card to gain the economic edge.
Knowing ApoTato a little bit, I think he's going for the Vils.
Okay. And then we got a little bit of Native Scout action going on, trying to get a little raid in, and there he goes. All right, Dunamai coming right up, getting that quick travois. I'm guessing he went up with the chief there, and then we had Potato going up with
the Elder.
The Quartermaster, or sorry, the Elder, going up with the Quartermaster here on the French side, going to give him 400 wood. A really late age up coming in on the French side, as opposed to he's already getting that barracks down. Now, I personally would have put that war hut, knowing how slow the French was coming up and seeing that deck, probably getting a little bit more aggressive to try to prevent maybe somewhere around here or here to stop that trade post from coming down. And taking a treasure right in the base here on Potato's side. Very aggressive. Very disrespectful.
Yes. That's Aztec stuff there.
Alright, so Potato was ending up... I guess he's still trying to macro probably for 100 wood there. Probably going to put down a market of some kind. Definitely was chopping wood in the transition to get this quick trade post here to secure the House of Bourbon. Let's see what that gives you. So he's probably going to be primarily training Royal Musketeers, strong Musketeer type. Pretty coin heavy as well. Here, yep, and there he goes. He starts queuing up those Royal Musketeers. Now, what do you think about this unit, McCleaves? You know, I find that usually Aztecs are going to want to go Autonton Slingers, so maybe it's not best to go heavy infantry.
He's going Coyote right now. He's going Coyote, so that could be interesting.
5 Coyote coming out of the war hut, and he's probably waiting for that shipment to come through. We can expect some raids coming out pretty quickly. Potato's just now going up, and then back on his side.
As well. Those side we see. Oh, he's going to miss a batch.
Oh, no.
Look at the Musketeers coming up.
Just 2 there. That's always rough to see. Always.
Yeah, especially when you know that the opponent already has 10 units out.
And just like you said, he is going for the Warrior Priest Boom here.
Yes.
Early 10 units, yeah. I mean, we're talking less than 6 minutes in, 5:30. He's already got halfway across the map. That's a pretty good, nice-sized batch for a good quick raid.
Yeah, exactly. That is the big perk of sending Kalmakak.
And I might have the Warrior Priest Boom going on in the background here. So we need to make sure that, you know, also he's going to get a huge boost as he gets those Warrior Priests out. Let's see how this raid goes. I want to see if he can seize it.
Trying to get a fill. Yep.
And the CDB, even though being stronger, they only have a range resist as opposed to a melee resist, so they're pretty susceptible to these cavalry. I'm surprised. Oh, there we go. Now he's going to be pulling those guys back. Good. And here come the Royal Musketeers. They should be able to get into melee with these Coyote runners and clean them up. Let's take a look at this action. Wow, he's really hugging the corner of that.
Charge attack. Oh no, he's going to get...
Nice charge attack there with the pistols.
No.
Oh,
no, that wasn't good. It focused a single unit. He should have attack moved with the pistol attack.
He probably can secure maybe one more. There it is. And the rest of them are most likely going to get out at this point. All right.
He could have taken like half of them, I think. If he had like dealt his pistol attack to different units instead of just a single one.
Right.
And something you need to be very aware of. Those charged attacks with units.
Yeah, it's a little micro trick that probably, you know, a lot of players probably don't even really think about. And then so now he's doubling down on the Royal Musketeer units right now, trying to get another batch out. Whereas on the Dunamai side, we are now sending in, immediately responding to the heavy infantry with the Anaino Tonton Slingers. And he's got a few right here, sitting ready to go.
And now the annoying part is that having gone for Bourbon and having double Bourbon on this map instead of Bourbon and Habsburg, there's no alternative for Potato, or he has to put down a stable.
Right, so we would hope that now that he's sending in the 700 wood card, which would probably be my next move, rather than going for the upgrades. I mean, I guess you could go for the upgrades and try to muscle through it, right?
Or crossbows.
But he's going 700 wood here. I guess you could start... You can put down a barracks for crossbows, or you can go down a stable for Hussar. I believe Hussar would beat out the Coyote runners.
Post. Yeah, absolutely. If you have enough, he's taking a second trade
post. Going to double down on once again getting those Royal Musketeers, trying to get those upgrade cards in, take advantage of his deck
and getting
to the
ability
extent.
faster.
20.
I don't agree. I don't agree though. I think the Royal March is nice. You can like get into the if you play it, you can get into the mass of your opponent and melee it. You just see he does it again. He just used the pistol attack on a single unit, and that is very. I think he might not have fully understood what it does.
Ooh, not a very good move there with the Atontan Slingers coming out, immediately ripping through the Royal Musketeers here. So for those who don't know what McCleaves is talking about, there's a hotkey button where you can end up doing an attack move where your units will attack the unit that's closest to that individual unit. Wow, look at this. Coyote's going into cover mode to prevent the damage of that volley coming out, and immediately this is a whole wipe. We got another few Royal Musketeers right here. He's sitting on 22 villagers on the French side, and then 24 on the Aztec side. But those warrior priests are coming in, and it's going to be really increasing their ability.
But it is Courier de Bois on this side, so it's a little bit deflated, the numbers.
Right, so
it's
Courier de Bois,
they're
1.25 gather speed as opposed to a normal settler, so definitely a better investment.
1.2, I think.
This trade post is most likely going to be coming down now. These Atontan Slingers don't have the best siege attack, but there's no real way for him to respond with these Royal Musketeers.
Yeah.
Oh, and a huge raid here going on. Just 5 Coyote Runner just putting in work, and then here come the crossbow pop. Oh my gosh. Potato, what are you doing? They got all these...
Oh, he
got a few idle CDB. And look at that. He's cleaning up probably 4 or 5.
Oh.
Yeah. Incredible. Pull them out. All right, now he's starting to go into action.
I think he could have gotten the last fill as well. He didn't. He ran, but he could have. He was probably, I don't know his line of sight, so he was probably expecting something to come, but...
Some sort of response, yeah, absolutely. And here we go, we got the Mass of the Atontan coming in. And again, he's still just sitting on crossbow and Royal Musketeers, and here we got a little bit of a fight here. I don't know if he sees this.
Are going back in as well.
And here they go, another huge raid on Dunamai's part. Another Vil going down to just 5 Coyote Runners, and Musketeers just walking into the Mass of the Atontan, not attack moving.
Potato's not looking good here.
No,
meanwhile, Aztec is just booming with Vils with the fertility dance.
Yeah, we got the fertility dance coming in with 35 Vils. 16
I like the
on
French
the part of the
though.
French.
It's pretty strong. It looks pretty good. If he uses the Royal March, he can just get in there.
Right, this big button tech that allows, this is what we've been talking about, your units will move faster, and then because of the fact that he has the 2 trade posts, it will allow him to refresh that ability even faster.
Yeah.
Problem is that there's such an economic advantage now towards the Aztec side. 16 Vils sitting for the French side as opposed to Dunamai's. 36 Vils, huge,
36.
pretty respectable massive Atontan, and we got even more coming in on the base side.
Starting to gather up his point. Oh, he's not training Vils right now. He's housed. That's kind of stupid. But remember that French had 22 Vils when we last checked, and he went down to 16. So that's pretty good. Oh.
All right. Most likely this is the Aztec War Chief is going to be going down. Nice hefty 100 XP. Again, more Atontan Slingers coming out, and then I'm imagining sending in the Puma Spearman at this point. He's anticipating a calf switch on the part of Potato, but we have not yet seen a stable come down, which is exactly what he would need in a moment like this.
It would make sense having so many Musketeers.
Now he's sending in the Native Warrior Combat. He has been good on about getting the market upgrades, which will give him quite a bit of an edge economically as he kind of struggles to get his Vil count up. But Native Warrior Combat will increase those natives 15%.
I think it's a waste to get this high tier market tax when you don't have a lot of Vils.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to really turn around and take advantage of it. And then here we go. Sieging on the trade post with the Atontan Slingers, and then we have another attack coming on the left side with the Puma Spearman. And at this point, and yeah, I think you may be right, ApoTato. Yeah, ApoTato's going straight in just to see if he can get just going straight for the base of Dunamai, trying to, I don't know, relieve some sort of pressure.
Yeah, I think he's right, because he's been pressured a lot. He's lost a lot of Vils, a lot of eco, and he needs to do something to damage his opponent, because it's just unequal right now. Well,
now he's coming up on a huge massive Vils here. What is that? Probably 6 or 7 Vils. There we go. Three of them going down. Yeah, amazing. Here we go. Now, he only has this one military production building, so if he can get this war hut down, that would be good damage done. Huge, massive Royal Musketeers here. Easily clean up those Automaton Slingers, but then we see them in the back producing these warriors, which are always such a difficult unit to contend with, even with the rapidly decaying health bar. Look at how many that come out. But the community plaza probably...
You just go for the warhead or for the priest.
Yeah, maybe double down on it. But he's struggling to really even make any ground here. And then on the other side, Dunamai coming in with a huge base trade at this point. Minutemen being popped out. Honestly, this mass would be able to clean up these Minutemen units and be quite all right. Probably take out a house or two easy.
Well, the problem is that Puma are actually tanked siege, so they are countered by the Minutemen.
ApoTato's still struggling to figure out exactly what he wants to do in the base here. The warriors are continuing to chip away at the mass that he has, and he has no response as Dunamai is coming up with the rest of his army to come and clean this up.
Yeah, when you look at the score, this clearly looks like a GG. Oh.
More Automaton Slingers coming out. Coyote Runners now coming in. Warriors still just holding that front line, chipping away at this. And here come the Puma Spearmen. War Hut's still not down. On ApoTato's side, there has been absolutely no response on his base. Minutemen are not coming in, sitting on 20 vills, 2 idle. 18, all of them on food.
He lost his...
And there it is.
No, he still has one.
and a very specific way of calling GG. I think on ApoTato's side with the 7k score lead, I do not see how he comes back, and there it is, the end game.
Well, that was a pretty interesting game. I think going natives was not an incorrect choice, but you can't go just musketeers. You need something else, or there needs to be either 2 different native straight bows, or you have to just fill it with your own roster.
Yeah, I totally agree with that assessment. I think when you see a deck like this, and you know that there's going to be a mixture of different kinds of units, I mean, Aztecs can achieve a pretty easy 3-unit composition in H2, which is very difficult to contend with in any context. You would need to kind of vary it up. I think Hussar would have been, opening with Hussar for some raids would have been a good play. And then the Royal Musketeers, again, they're not a bad unit. They seem strong with the charge attack. You can use them, but it has to be mixed in with some form of skirmisher unit.
I think opening Hussars is a very good thing to do against Aztec, because yes, the Puma are very good, but it's much harder to mass them for the Aztec player because they cost coin and the rest of their units cost wood.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think if you can continue to keep them, especially if you can get in here on the community plaza, that's always a huge win. If you could take out a warrior priest or 2, it really, really does hamper the ability of the Aztecs. But thank you guys for joining us on this casted game. Once again, Dunamai has chalked up a win on his side in his series against ApoTato. If you've enjoyed this content, if you like what we do here, please sure to subscribe to the channel, hit a like so we can get some traction, and make sure that you join us for the next cast. Thank you so much.